put in the
This
chat.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, no problem.
I'll copy it. You can make a note of it.
Hey guys, good afternoon.
Hi Vijay, good afternoon. Vijay.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, yesterday we are talking about the application creation. That we built an application called Narayana, Narayana application, and we built a module called student information. So what's our use case? Create an application. Okay. Create an application called Narayana institutions and module called student information. Okay. Okay. So that is what we did, right? So in the student information, we need a fields, right? What fields we require? Student name, father name, and we also require student ID, student, city, student, country, and read comments in a separate section, and marks in a separate section, and separate. So this is an application what we created, student information. Okay. So if I click on new, there will be a number that gets populated. This is the first record. This is because we selected auto number. Okay. Now, if you look into this, there is no data here, no records. Before we go ahead and create records, you need to understand type of fields that are available. Okay, if you go to incident, what type of fields that are available? Okay, so very important. Make a note of it. Type of fields. Field number one is if any field which allow alphabeticals, alphabets, less special characters, less demands. That field will be called as a string. Okay, that field will be called as a string field. That is this. If you see this, you can type ABC 1, 2, 3, something like that. And you can also see this, right? So this is a type, this is a field type called string. Okay. Now, if any field which allows only numerics, that field will be called as integer, right? A field which will allow only integers. This field won't let you enter special characters or alphabet. You only accept integers. If you anytime see a drop down, right? This field will be called as choice. This field type will be called as choice. Type of field types, right? Type of field types. Choice. Again, choice have two types. If you see this, this is one type of choice. And if you see this bulb, whenever you see this bulb, this is also a choice. We call this as choice suggestions. Okay, choice suggestion. A field with a bulb icon. Bulb icon. This is a choice field. This is also a choice field. Choice field cannot be, it may not be the same. Sometimes it will look like this. This will be called as a choice solution. And if you anytime see a field with magnifier symbol, that field will be called as a reference field type. See this magnifier? This is a reference field. Reference, 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 choice fields, choice field, choice field, string field, choice suggestion. Okay, choice suggestion. Can you hear me, people?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Yes, you're loud and clear.
Amit, just try to check your voice. I mean, speakers. Okay. So, and if you, the beauty with the reference field is, right, very important. Reference field, this reference field will always refer to a table. Reference field always refer to a table and display the data from the referred table. Referred table. For example, if you see this field, if you click on this magnifier symbol, this is referring to which table? User table. From the user table, it is displaying the data, and we are able to select the data, right? So this is like, so this reference field always refer to a table. Something like this difference table is referring to user table here, reference field. And this reference field is referring to which table? Table called services, right? And this reference table is referring to service offerings, right? And this reference table is referring to configuration items table. Okay, so keep in mind, when you decided that you wanted to create a reference field, you must need to have the table which that field is going to refer to. The table which that is going to be referred to. That is a reference field. Okay. But if you see the reference field, all I can do, I can only select one user here. Either creator user, or either John Newton, or either system administrator. What if I have a use case and I wanted to have multiple people? I wanted to select multiple people. Then reference field is not an option for me, right? If a field with magnifier symbol, field with magnifier symbol, field with magnifier symbol, and allow us to select multiple user, will be called as list. Will be called as a list. See this? Come on. This is a field that I'm talking about. If you unlock it, you can select multiple users. System administrator, John Newton. You can select any of the users. There is no limit. You can select it, right? So this will be called as a list. Okay, this will be called as list. Okay, it will be called as a list. Now, if you see a field with a cursor blinking, that field will be called as journal. So let me elaborate this. You must have gone through the Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, right? When you see a beautiful articles regarding some service now in LinkedIn, you wanted to comment that. Hey, send me the copy of it. And where do you comment it? Under that article, or under that picture, or under that statement, you'll always see a search bar, something like this, something like this. It will always, the cursor keep blinks always. The cursor keep blinking. And whenever you type something, please, can I have a copy of this? And hit enter and save or enter. What happens? That particular comment, whatever you mention, will go to the comment section, and that comment box will remain empty. Yeah, and that comment box will remain empty. Similar case, see this? Can I have the copy of this? It goes to the activities, and your box, whatever you written, it becomes empty, right? This behavior will be called as journal feedback. Okay, this behavior will be called as a journal feedback. Okay, and what else we have? If you see a field with a calendar, that will be called date field. If you see a field with calendar, which also allows time and date, will be called as date and time. And you also have a currency field type called currency. You can also have a URL field, right? You can explore these things, number of things you can explore. Okay. Now, so we have these many field types and so on. When somebody requested for this, how will I know which field type that I need to use these fields? The thing I wanted to have, okay, I wanted to have, one second, these many fields. When you say that you need to have these many fields, how end user, how will you as an admin or developer aware that which field type that you need to choose? What field type that you need to choose for student name? What field type that you need to choose for the father name? What field for student city? What field for this? Right? You don't go by your own. You never go by your own. You always go with the customer requirements. You always go with the customer requirements. Okay, for example, your student name, even when the same person say, when your customer says it's a student name, they will also give you what is the field type reference. And they'll also give you which table it need to be referred with. This user. Okay. Father name, again, it's a reference field. It is also referred to sys user. But condition that they will give you. Student ID, they will tell you it's a string field. Student city, they will tell you it's a choice field. And they'll also give you choices. Right? What are the choices? Hyderabad, New Delhi, right? And Bangalore, Kolkata. So, one second. So they will give you the requirements, right? Hyderabad, New Delhi, and what else? London, Liverpool, and again New Jersey. Okay, so they will give you these requirements, and they'll also give you a student country, right? Again, it's a choice option, right? They'll also give you choices: India, USA, right? Comments, right? It's a journal field. Journal field. Marks, again, it's a separate section. It's an integer. Integer and integer, right? So you don't go by your own assumptions. You never go by your own assumption. You always go by your customer requirements, right? Now you have full-fledged requirement from your customers. Then what is you need to do? You need to go ahead and design this page. You need to go ahead and design this page. So what ways I can design this page? So you can design the page. There are two ways that a person can design the page. One is form design, form layout. Okay, form layout. There are two ways, right? So based on your flexibility, that you can always select, what you want, right? So now if you go, I will go create one field with the form layout, and the rest I will do with the form design, right? So now let's go to the student information page. Reload. So the first field what I wanted to create is student name, right? So let's go ahead, right click it, configure, and I'll go with the form layout. When I click on form layout, if you come down here, you see an option called create new field. Give it a name, student name. Type, what is the type? Type is, what is the type they mentioned? Reference. Reference. As soon as you selected the reference, it is asking you what table you wanted to refer to. What table? Sys underscore sys underscore user. Okay, you don't add it here. Save. Right? A student name field is created, and this is a reference field. It is referring to user data. Okay. Now, unlike what we have, like what we have for the table, right? Table have a label and table have a name. What is the difference between label and name?
Label is for user
What is the
interface.
difference between label and name?
For, scratch, I mean code to write it.
You're not audible. I know who. I don't know.
This is Likit, sir.
You're not audible.
I mean
Could you be a
table.
little bit louder, please?
Yes, can you hear me?
No. I'm
Label
hearing
is
some
for
echo.
user interface, and name is for writing a code.
Okay. That's fine. I'll tell the answer. Anybody else? Can you hear me? Soumya?
UI is to user interface. Sorry, UI label is for user interface. Name refers to the value stored as in the DB.
Right. So label, okay, label is for the user interface, right? But name will be used for the DB search, for the DB. Okay. But this is for the UI search, and this is for the DB search, right? So if I wanted to write a script and I wanted to call a field, I wanted to call something, should I use a label or name?
Group 40, you should use DB. Sorry, you should use name. Sorry.
I'm not hearing. That's fine. Okay. I will use
Name should be.
I'll use name. Okay. Right. Similarly, if you have a field that is created, even this field have a label. This is the label, and this will be called as name. You student name is a name. Okay. So that's one way of we creating fields. What is the way? We created using a form layout. What's another way is right click on it, configure, and hit on form design. When you do hit form design, when you hit the form design, what happens? This will take you into a page where you can actually do a form, design the form. Okay. How do you design the form? Okay. How do you design the form? So now click on the field types, and then if you click on the field types, then you will have multiple field types. Okay, multiple field types here, right? What is the field type that you wanted to create? Another one is father name, which is a reference field, right? So select reference. Okay, and if you click on the gear icon here, you will be able to display father name. Okay, and reference field, which reference field it is? It is referring to session scoring. Okay, then trace it. What else? We have a student ID. I need a string field. string, string. Copy, drag and drop here. Student ID. Right? Another one is what? Choice. Student country. If you come down here, you can define your choices here. Right? This is one way. So what are the choices I'm talking about? Here is India 10, USA 20, UK. Okay, that is student country. Now let's talk about another choice, right? So this will be student city. Okay, I'm not going to define the choices here, but I'm going to show you another way how to create choices. Click on save, and that's done, and we have created enough fields, right? Now save it. Changes are not being replicated, right? What you need to do, you need to reload the form. Just reload the form. Yeah, form is reloaded, and you'll be able to see all this. This is student name referring to user. This is also father name referring to user. This is string, and India, USA, UK, student city. I have not created choices. Okay, that's one. Now the problem here is if I create few more fields. Okay, if I create few more fields, the page will be completely exhausted with the fields. Okay, page will be completely exhausted with the fields. Can I create a layout? Can I have the layout created? And so so that number and student name, father name will be one side, cities, country, and student ID will be one side. Right? How can I do that? Is if you go to the form design, this is a section. This is one section. Okay. In this section, go to this column and set this two columns here. Okay. Now student ID, student country, student city. Same. Okay. So this is it is divided into two parts. Now if you reload it, yeah, it looks fair and neat now. Okay, it looks fair and neat. That's one thing. I'm coming into the other design. If you see this, what is that? We need a comments option. What is it mentioned here? It should be in a separate section. Right? Same goes with the marks. It should be in separate section. Right? So how can we do that is if you wanted to create a separate section, you see a plus here, you need to click on the plus. A new section is being displayed. Give it a name, something like comments, whatever. Okay. And now, what is the field type that you are going to create is journal. So type journal. I'll keep it as one column. So it will be big, right? And give it as comments. Right? In the another section, we have another field that is created. This is another section. Okay, this is another section. And if you look into the document, they still wanted to have a separate marks at a different section under the marks. We need a multiple fields. So if I create another section from here, so from here, it will be something like another section under the comments. So again, your form will be exhausted with the fields, right? No. I want to have a field like this. Incident. Go to incident. No, I would say I'll put the change. Okay, come down. You see this? This is one section. This is one section. This is one section. This is one section. One section. How we are able to create the tabs, right? How we are able to create the tabs, right? If I wanted to create tabs. Then how do I do that? Is go to student information again. Right click on it. Form design. Okay. Instead of you are creating a section from here, okay, you need to create a section from here. If you create a section from here, the new section will be added as a tab, okay. But if you create a section from here, it will be a new other section that will be after the comments, okay. That's a logic. So click on this one. I'll say and now it has marks, right? In the marks, what else we need? We have integer fields, right? So go ahead and search for integer fields. Okay, so English, maths, social. See this? There's another tab come here. If I created a section from here, it will be like after this. Under the comments, we should have been having a new marks comment, marks section. It looks weird. So if you wanted to add another section, add something like this. Yeah, that is marks. Okay. So this is how we design the page now. Now it looks neat here. Okay. So the requirement is completed, but we didn't fill the choices yet. Right? First two choices is created, but the remaining choices are not created. So if you look into India, USA, UK, these are all the choice options that I have created from here. Student city, okay, student city that I've created here, right? Is there a sorry, this is this one, right? Is there another way that we can do this? And what is this 10, 20, 30? What is this 10, 20, 30? That we will talk now. Go now, reload form. Right click on the student city. Remember, each and every field will have a properties. It have their own dictionary. Each and every field will have their own dictionary. Okay. So that dictionary will help you to manage the fields. That dictionary will help you to manage the fields. It's like on a layman language, I would call it as a properties. Okay, something like properties. So now let's say student city, configure dictionary. Come down. If you see choices here in the related list, choices, what is it we have? Choice one, choice two, choice three. Choice one, choice two, choice three, right? But what cities the user gave us to us? Hyderabad, New Delhi, London, Liverpool, New Jersey, New York, right? So let's go ahead and define the choices. So if you click on, you can also open this and make changes. Okay. make changes here, or you can also edit the field directly by double clicking. Choice 1 is Hyderabad, New Delhi, London, Liverpool, New York, New York, New Jersey, or Minnesota, whatever, New Jersey. Okay. Now, what is this label? We know what is label. What is this value? This value is similar to the name. Value is similar to the name. If you have a table will have a label and name. Similarly, if you have a field, that field have a label and name. Again, this is also one record, correct? This is also one, when it is also a record. It should also have a label, but instead of name, it will have values. Let's say tomorrow, for example, I will ensure it is 10. Right? So let's say tomorrow there is a requirement that gets you, right? That requirement is going to be, if caller ID is John Newton, and set the field student city to Hyderabad. How will we write this? We'll write it is, if caller ID is equal to, okay, equal to sys ID, right? Sys ID, and student city is equal to, we don't write it as John Newton, we don't write it as Hyderabad, we write it as 10. 10 means what? Something like this, right? So 10 is the value that will be used. Consider it as a name, right? So you can give it as any number, any name also. I don't mind, but I have a practice of doing it in numbers. So that will be easy for me. Yeah. Now, see, student information, right? Now we see country is this, student city is this. Okay, student city is this. So now all the requirement is completed here. We create a reference field, father name, condition that we will talk about in a moment. Student ID done, strategy done, country done, comment done, marks done. Wonderful. Okay. Now let's talk about this condition aspect. Okay. What is this condition? So that will be something like, see this. This field is also referring to 600 table. I'm seeing 624. This field is also referring to 600 which is showing 624 records. Right? So if you have John Newton here, you can also select John Newton. There is no logic, right? How can a John Newton can be a father of John Newton? How can a same person, right? So now the use case here is, how can we filter the data of what we're seeing here, right? Let's say now the use case, the condition is be display only gender is male, display users whose gender is male, right? Whose gender is male. Simple, right? So this condition that we need to apply, right? This condition we need to apply. How can I do that, right? So if you click on the father name, we have a concept called reference qualifier. What is reference qualifier? Using the reference qualifier, we can filter the data. What is coming from is the target table, referred table in reference field. Okay. So in what is reference qualifier? Using a reference qualifier, we can filter the data what coming from a referred table in reference field. Okay. For example, if you're seeing 624 user, that really doesn't make any sense. I wanted to filter out the data there, right? Where my filter is, what I'm going to do, I just go ahead, configure dictionary. How can I apply reference qualifier is configure dictionary. Go to reference specification here. You see reference qualifier condition, right? We have three types of reference qualifiers again. Simple, dynamic, and we have something else. What is that? Simple, dynamic, and advanced. Okay. So simple, dynamic, and advanced will be code, right? We'll write a script and we'll call it here. So simple is something, it's simple. What is simple? Reference qualifier condition. What is the use case? What is the filter that you are going to apply? Gender is male, right? No, if you don't want it to put it like this, then for the testing purpose, what I will use, I will change the department. Department is okay, or department is not IT. So what happens when I say department is not IT? It will display all the user excluding the IT department people. Department is not empty, right? Department is empty. Department starts with A, ends with A, contains A, does not contain A, anything is same and blah blah. Right? So in my case, I'm just keeping it as department is IT. Yeah, department is IT. How many users we've been seeing now? 624 users, right? In the father name field. Now let's see. 170. See any of the user, whose department will be IT. Whose department will be IT. And can we only do the IT department wise filter? No, you can do anything. Something like, mobile phone number, it contain blah blah blah. Location is blah blah blah. Country is blah blah blah. Or the condition. You can also have multiple conditions, not only one condition. So when the department is IT and person wants to be gender is male. This is another filter. You can add any number of filters here. Say, see now. Okay. Now the count is reduced, right? The count has become reduced now, right? Something like this. You can keep adding your data. You can keep adding your data and takes care of all filter. So this concept will be called as, reference qualifier. Interview question. Interview will ask you what is reference qualifier. Reference qualifier is it's a kind of you're using a reference qualifier. I can filter the data that is coming from a referred table in a reference. Simple, straightforward, right? That's good. So now the use case is completed. Right? We created a field and etc. 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 Okay. Now, and couple of use cases that we will discuss now again. Right. So one is, please make the number field read only. The reason of the number field is to have a unique ID, but if it is editable one, people can edit it, right? So let's keep it, make the file in read only mode. How can I do that is, again, go to the dictionary mode, configure dictionary. Okay. If you see this, you have a read only here. Simply put a check mark here. Nobody can read this, right? Similarly, please make student name is mandatory. What is mandatory? Mandatory is something without you enter the fields. Mandatory means what? Without you enter this field, you cannot save the field, right? So currently, if though it's, I can just save the empty records, right? Is there a way that I can just, mandate this requirement, right? Student name, empty dictionary, come down, make mandatory and update. If I save now, the following mandatory fields are not filled. Then I have to select user, select. Okay, this will be called as a mandatory, making the field read only and mandatory at the dictionary levels, right? We can also do it by the condition level. That's a different story altogether. As we move forward, we will learn it, right? So if A is A and I want this to be mandatory, if B is B, I want this to be mandatory, read only, something like this. We can play around with this. Any questions?
Vijay, can you just show me how to create a new section again, please?
Right click, configure, form design.
Okay. Right.
Just put a place mark here. Click a place mark. Simple. Click it.
So,
There is a new section will be created.
should try it. Okay. Right.
Does it answer your questions, Adush?
Yes. Yes. Thanks.
Okay. Good. What else in this basics? So that's it for today, right? So we can. If you have any questions, let me know. We will talk. We will talk. Some other concepts more.
Vijay Santosh here. I was just going through a couple of, kind of documents. So I came across a field called caller ID while creating an incident. Okay. So under that, will you come to it later on? I will not. I'll drop the question here itself. There, caller simple, caller dynamic, caller advanced, kind of something was there. I didn't know. I couldn't understand. Will you come back to it?
Where did you say this?
Sorry, you said me not Google. I was googling.
That's a problem, right? That's the biggest problem. Now you see, right? You see this. This is a caller field.
Correct. Correct.
You see a magnifier symbol. Now what is this field?
That's the reference
What is this field?
magnifier reference field type.
Reference field. Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the reference field, how many types of reference qualifiers we have?
1 second.
Just discuss, no? How many types of reference qualifiers we have?
No, I've not made a note of that. Simple, dynamic, advanced.
Is it what you said? Caller simple, caller dynamic, caller advanced.
Correct.
This is not a field. Okay.
Okay.
This is not a field. This caller is a name. It's a field name.
It's a
The
field.
field type is what?
Reference.
Reference.
Reference field. Yeah.
Reference. Field type is reference. If you see caller simple, caller advanced, caller diagnostic, caller advanced, that is a field. That is a use case people are discussing here. It's not, caller is not a generic field. This is limited to only incident, and you will see incident change, problem management, RTM, items, and something. So whichever the table that are being inherited from the task table. Caller is a field. Reference is a field type. We are talking about
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Field
So
type.
field type. So field type is simple, dynamic, and advanced.
No,
Reference field
you missed
type
it.
is
You missed it. Field type is reference. You know what I mean? Field type is reference. Reference qualifier have multiple types. Yeah.
reference qualifiers. Okay. 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 Field type is reference. Reference qualifiers are okay. Simple, dynamic, and advanced. Okay.
Reference qualifier, three types. Three types of reference qualifier. Field is
Sim
what?
reference field type. That's caller is
Reference
the name
field.
of the type. Yeah.
Caller is a field name.
Field name, correct.
You can have your caller. You can have your reference field name as Subhash Chandra Bose. Doesn't make
Okay.
any sense, right? Subhash
Correct.
Chandra Bose advanced, Subhash Chandra Bose simple, Subhash Chandra Bose dynamic, right?
Okay. Okay.
It's as
Yes.
simple as it. Is that
Okay.
clear?
Okay. Got it. I got it. Simple, dynamic, advanced are three types of reference qualifiers. So
Reference
those
qualifiers.
yeah those three
Yes.
reference qualifiers have three different functionalities.
Three different functionalities. Where you write a code and call your code to the reference field. That's a different story. We will look into that. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Thanks.
So
Thanks, Vijay.
again, don't do that. You will have a lot
Okay.
of questions.
Yeah. I got it, Vijay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. Anyway, it's up to you. All right then. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it answer your question, no, Santosh?
Perfect. Perfect, Vijay. I got it. I got the
All
clarity.
right. Take care. Chalo.
Thank you. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, everyone.
Chalo then. Yeah. If no questions, let's have it. Meet tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye.